Hello, and welcome to our little Star Citizen podcast. We've been away for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks actually, just because there wasn't that much to talk about. So we figured, come back in a couple of weeks when there is more. Now we have the PTU, which is live, and quite a few other topics to talk about now. Yeah, welcome back, Mr. Obsessite.
Hello.
I had a few problems with my setup as well because I just built a new system, so it took me a while to get this whole thing set up and back to where it was before. Same thing, I think you got a new camera and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I got a new camera. I'm testing out the whole background replacement. So, yeah, it's pretty good, although it doesn't like the insides of between the cap and the headset and my headset. It gets confused, but it's not too bad. I'll put the green screen back up at some point, but
you're missing part of your head, Mr. Marsh.
Yeah, I know. I have to try. If I move around too much, it cuts bits away. So yeah, I can't move too much.
Yeah, head's missing, and it's chunk of your head is gone.
Yeah, it's lost my headset.
Oh dear.
It's even worse if I try and drink something. What? What's going on there?
I've never had any good experiences with those auto replace systems. They always take parts of your body away.
Yeah, well, I thought I better try it, innit? It was part of the reason why I bought the bloody camera, just to see if it'd be better. But nope, got to put some proper hooks on the wall behind me.
Yeah, I just put a bunch of hooks on mine for my green screen on the ceiling, just because I was tired of having that big frame thing that comes with all your usual. The sort of lighting green screen. You can get a frame and you stick it on the frame, but I just hooked it to the ceiling. It's much easier.
Yeah, well, my excuse is my blue tack wore out. So it's all high tech at this end.
Blue tack wore out. I don't know if I'm going to go with that as a really good excuse, but okay. So 2.61 is now live on the PTU, that is. Not live, but live on the PTU. So I think subscribers and concierge get access to it too. I don't know if everyone else does yet.
I think it's open to everybody now.
It is.
Over the weekend, I think they
over the weekend.
I think they had an email through saying that it's open to all backers. So effectively, it may as well be live, but it's not really. I was
going to say, if it's open to all backers, then it's live, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess they just letting people download huge amounts of gigabits.
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, I downloaded it once, and I played Pirate Swarm, and the pirates are a lot more difficult than they were in the previous one, which is good. I think that's definitely an improvement, because before it was it took me a couple of goes, but it was a little easy. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really tried an awful lot of Arena Commander. I've had a bash with the regional servers in Star Marine, which we'll probably talk about later, and I had to go with the same and in the PU.
Mm-hmm.
It's Star Marine is way better. PU, well, I may have gained a few frames, but it's still pretty laggy. Yeah, okay, it's pretty crap still. But
networking is crap. The game is very good, but the networking is just not up to par, shall we say.
I mean, they did put a couple of amendments in 2.61. I can't remember what they are now. I did have the document.
They had serialized variables and message ordering, but I told you those two wouldn't make much of a difference, if anything, just because they don't do. The big one is bind culling, and they removed bind culling, and I think it's been dropped to 3.0 as far as I can tell. So
yeah, it's going to be it'll be a big bang when that's out. Big improvements, lots of things to do, planetary landings. Whilst we'd all like to see the PU improve as it is right now, yeah, we've said before, I've got the patience. It is what it is. We just got to wait.
We just got to keep hammering, keep sticking with it, as it were. I think they've improved the flight model quite a lot. And I think the flight model's a lot better than it was in 2.6 in terms of for the fighters at least. For the fighters, there's more spread of the different ships, and the Sabre seems just as good as it was. Super Hornet's a bit worse, but that's mainly due to the fact that the shields weren't working very well. I don't know. I haven't tried it in the last day. So I don't know if they fixed that. Because what else did I notice? Oh yeah, the big ships. They're a little problematic. They're just too slow. They get basically just like bullet sponges, basically, and sitting ducks, basically. When you have like fighters just flying by you and just doing loop-de-loops, and you're like chug. It's like driving on a lorry versus like a motorcycle. The motorcycle's dancing around you, and you're just
yeah. I'll have to try the freelancer later and report back on what I thought. Well, this Saturday, so we're a few days later doing than this than normal. But that's all good. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, they do seem to be iteratively adding bits and pieces to it. But one thing that is huge is Spectrum, still amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Spectrum is good. I've been on it quite a bit. I do like my little Spectrum. I know a bunch of the guys on there. They're on the flight balance. They're very into making sure this game is really good, which is very important, I think. And they're very committed to making it work, which is great. Can't ask for a better bunch of people. So
yeah, they're very responsive. I mean, I've also been quite impressed with the Turbulent guys. How involved they're getting with the people, which is good.
Sorry, I'd have to take a drink there because my lips were a little dry. But so what are the server locations? So what did you notice? Because to be honest, I really haven't noticed much of a difference in terms of like latency.
Yeah, you probably won't, because I'm expecting that you've got the Asia Pacific, which is the Australian servers, and then you've got the EU, which is probably based out of Frankfurt or whatever the Amazon. I guess they must be using Amazon now for hosting. I haven't even checked.
They gotta be.
I mean, come on. They must be with Lumberyard.
Right.
But yeah, I found a massive improvement with Star Marine with the regional servers. It was actually playable. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a lag fest. You still have the halts. The first couple of times you see somebody from the enemy team, but it seems that that only happens the first couple of times, and then it goes away. It's pretty smooth after that.
I did notice in Bug Smashers they were talking about that halt being something to do with like head respawns of like when someone respawns, they had to load in a new head, so the servers were blipping. So, and they said they fixed that, but I mean, it's still getting halts. But I mean, it's getting better. I mean, I think Star Marine's getting better. Just like our Arena Commando used to be a little bit squirrely to begin with, and now it's a lot better. I mean, other than the fact that there's still some latency issues with like if you're playing on co-op. If you're doing co-op or deathmatch or whatever you want to call it. There's definitely some sort of latency for like bullets when you fire the gun. Not all of them seem to hit. Shotgun sometimes, but other than that, it's a definite improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I play medium armor, and I have the laser sniper rifle, obviously, because that tends to what they do in first-person shooters, and I have the energy shotgun as the secondary for if I get up close. And I found that the sniper rifle, the accuracy is pretty good. It hits where it hits, but obviously it seems to be accurate. But then you don't really have. You only have to hit them once if you're accurate, and they die anyway. If you hit them in the head or in the torso. And the shotgun it seems a bit spammy, but then maybe it's just me being crap. I don't know.
How have you been doing?
Okay. The first couple of games, I was getting used to the weapons again, and then after that, I was coming second on the leaderboards a lot of the time.
That's good.
Yeah, but I guess I just I enjoy it. I play it, a fair bit, but for me, the PU exploration, that sort of stuff, is what I'm in the game for, not necessarily the first person bit. But it's going to be great when they add it all together. So you got the freedom of getting out of your ship and then walking around a place and nicking some stuff, getting back to your ship, or Sam Fisher like a bit of stealth.
Like a bit of stealth, yeah. I was gonna show you guys something. Which one is it? Oh, hold on. It's one of these videos. No, it's not that one. I think it's this one.
This week we
How far along is the Is that the small details of the procedural moons?
Actually, future you'll meet
Yeah.
some of
Yeah,
them.
243.
In regards to ship weapons, the team's been blocked on a daily basis to be able to push our visuals for the planetary
That's a
tech
great freeze frame.
It is. Come on, where's
all the way to the
There we
point where
go.
you land on them and explore. They also make progress on new varieties of vegetation. Along with the new varieties, the
Wow.
engineers
super laggy?
Yeah,
have also
but it looks cool.
implemented the functionality.
It looks even better when it's moving.
Oh, what's going on with freaking Chrome, eh?
Yeah.
Come on, Chrome. Don't be that way. That's what I do. Chrome.
It's me. I'm using up all your bandwidth with my new 1080p camera.
It must be it, because it's crashing. No!
Oh, that's not me. I'm not guilty for crashing people's Chrome.
Yes. Come on, Chrome. Don't be that guy. Oh, there we go.
There you go. That's even better. There you go. Oh, come on, man.
I know, Chrome's just, I guess, is not having a good day today. Wow.
Today's
Technical-
podcast is not sponsored by Google.
No, not at all. Jesus, Mary, Joseph. I'm gonna switch it to. What are you doing, stupid Chrome? Chrome's dying. Chrome's dying. I guess I'll just switch it back to the other background for now.
Yeah. But it does look good. I mean, if you can watch it, it's the week before's around the verse from 243 to 309. You get to see some nice video of the improvements they've made on the procedural moons, and it even in what they've shown, if it is procedural, it's already better than the other space game that I'm not going to bother mentioning this week because everybody knows I play it. It's a bit obvious. I'm wearing the hat. But yeah, it does look awesome. I'm really looking forward to it, and 3.0 can't come soon enough for me.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it can come soon enough for everybody, buddy. So here you go. What are we doing? Come on. Don't be that guy. There we go.
There you go.
This is in Firefox now. We're doing Firefox now.
Oh, bloody hell, see? Google got outstripped by Firefox. That's going to have to be in the news.
I know. Doesn't happen that often. It looks pretty awesome, though. The vegetation
Yeah,
is
it
starting
does.
to look really good. The shadows.
Yeah, they said that now they got branches that move independently now rather than just the leaves.
Brian. There's Brian.
Yeah, that's what Brian was saying. And yeah, the volumetric effects look awesome.
They do. I really do hope that they kind of fix the pop-in, because I played Black Desert, and the pop-in in that game is just catastrophic. I mean, the game looks stunning, all, but it just breaks the immersion completely when you like pop in from the guy who's like 2 feet away from you just suddenly pops in and he's right there. You're like,
yeah,
come on.
That scene needs to see Santa on his sleigh flying over those mountains. That looks really good.
It looks like that's probably what Microtech is going to be like. I did notice they need a bit more sort of fluff on the floor. It looks kind of bare.
Yeah,
like grass and stuff, but
alpha in it. I think you're probably going to be fine with your monster new machine, but I'm really starting to worry about the state of mine. The poor thing's just not going to cope, I don't think. Looking at that, it really does look pretty. It'll probably be a motherboard, memory, CPU. We've talked about this off camera. It's probably easy just to buy a new.
I don't know.
Buy a new upgrade back. The graphics card will be all right, I think.
At the end, tell you what though, my biggest thing I bought was the SSD, the M.2 SSD, which basically plugs straight into a motherboard, which is blindingly fast. Like, just blows me away how quick things.
You had an SSD before, didn't you? A traditional one.
But a traditional with the SATA 6 gig connection, and that was fast. I mean, it was faster than a standard physical spin drive. But this was just in a whole nother level. It's like I'd say it's at least 4 or 5 times faster than the SATA 6 gig. It just loads Windows in under like I barely don't. You know that little icon when you're loading Windows that like transition from the BIOS to the window, and then you get your desktop.
Yeah.
So you basically look at it for like a second, and it's gone. So it's just
it's going to be awesome.
It's nuts. That's the biggest. I think that's the biggest improvement. The CPU wasn't like a massive improvement, and the rest of it wasn't a massive improvement. But that thing is just nuts. It's the way to go in the future, as it was anyway. So I was going to talk about ships coming up soon. I think there's a couple. They're doing another fighter, right?
Yeah, Hurricane, is it? I think that's what they said it was.
Is that Anvil?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I've hung on to the Super Hornet. I've upgraded it a couple of times to a Gladiator and then moved it back because I got a couple of the Zero CCUs. Mm-hmm. But I keep going back. I went back to the Super Hornet to see what the refactor looks like, and I don't know. I'm in two minds, to be fair. The Super Hornet's it's a great ship, and it's got a jump driver standard. But the benefit that the Gladiator has is that it's got cargo. You can replace the torpedoes with a cargo bay, so it gives you a bit of everything.
You can with the
really.
Super Hornet too. It's the strong box. You just lose the turret on top.
Yeah, exactly. But with the Gladiator, you don't lose the turret. But it hasn't got as many guns anyway, so horses for courses, really.
I mean, the Gladiator is fine. It's not as nimble. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like the bat wing, but I think it's a decent ship. But I personally just find it a little too slow. I prefer I'm a straight fighter guy, so I like the Saber, and the Super Hornet's good, but the Saber right now is just awesome. So,
yeah, I'm going to see. Depends on how much money they want for the Hurricane. I might upgrade the Super Hornet for it.
To the Saber?
No, to the Hurricane.
Oh,
the
to
next
the Hurricane.
Ship.
Okay.
I mean, the Saber's nice. I've flown it a few times.
What's the Drake fighter? What's that one called?
Oh, shit. They actually said that this week on Grey Box to whatever it is. The
Concept of Grey Box?
That's the one, yeah.
Actually.
Buccaneer.
Buccaneer.
Drake Buccaneer.
That's right. It looks actually when I first saw the concepts, like back in, was it November? I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it's a bit fat around, like it's like a guy, a middle-aged 40s guy who's got a big belly, and he's
Who are you talking about here, me? You talking about me or yourself? I mean, come on. You just described me on camera. Fat, middle-aged 40s. Brilliant.
So. But like the big belly, it looks misshapen in terms of, like, my camera just went a bit crazy then. It just looked a bit misshapen in terms of, like, proportional. I mean, so does the helmet, yeah. But now it looks a lot more sleek, a little less sort of, the wings are more proportional to the rest of the body, and looks pretty menacing, shall we say. So
yeah, and they had to move the turret from underneath to the top of the ship because otherwise we won't be able to land it.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of concept with those landing gear, I noticed.
It looks like Bird of Prey. I like the way it folds out and just drops.
It is. It's starting to look really good. I mean, the new ships they do are just I really hope they do the refactor for the Hornet range altogether. Complete, like, they said they were going to do it, like a complete modernization of it, sort of using the same sort of pipeline system they have now, and keep the old one, sort of Mark 1 and Mark 2, and have, like, a new Hornet, just because the Hornet seems a little dated. I mean, it's a great ship and it looks fantastic. It looks like the Battlestar Galactica ships, but it's definitely it needs a revamp, I think, compared to the new ones.
Yeah, I think most of us would probably upgrade to something which is more in line with the modern ships they've done, or the more recent ones rather, because it just shows its age. It does need to be redone. But if they're committing to keeping the old models in there for, I don't know, just because of the honor of them, because they were the first things that you saw way back in the the very first trailer, apart from the Bengal itself, of course. I mean, I'll be upgrading. The only people who will keep hold of the original will be ones who've got multiple ships of the same type.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely. I'm looking forward to it. So there's a bunch of bugs in 2.61. I think the amount of bugs in 2.61 is more than I remember, like, 2.6 having. I just, like, UI bugs, and there's a reticle bug where the reticles don't line up with where the guns are firing. There's shield bugs where some of the shields don't work. I'm still a little surprised that because this is a sort of small incremental build, that the amount of bugs is significant. But hopefully they'll fix them before the end. But I was a little surprised about that.
Yeah, I mean, with the Super Hornet, I'm guessing it's just because of the refactor, and for some reason they didn't balance how the shields sit with the new geometry, although it's supposed to be the same, but obviously there's a difference there somewhere.
Well, the Sabers has a couple of bugs too, where like the holes in the shields where you can shoot and nothing happens, in terms of like shield locations. But so it, 1 minute you'll be fighting a Saber and it's shields are off, and then sometimes you find that hole and it just cuts right through and blows you up. So it can be sort of like quick explosions sometimes with it.
Yeah, that's got to suck.
Does.
I guess you'd have to play Uranium Commando that much to actually experience it, because it's got to be relatively rare. Otherwise, they would have found it before they actually brought it out. For it to actually get through their internal testing before it came to us.
You would think so, but but you never know. I mean, they could have just said, "Well, it's pretty much there. We'll just have a bunch of things to try and get sorted." What else do we have to chat about?
I think, did we talk about the base building last time?
I think we did, but I mean, we could talk about it again. I mean, I'm very interested in the base building. Base building right now is, I think originally it wasn't really supposed to be in the game, was it?
No, it's one of those terrifying feature creep that seems to be coming into the game. And whilst what we've seen looks really good, it's, as far as I know, outside any of the stretch goals. And it almost it feels as if it's just something that's been added in because some other games have got it. And I don't think Star Citizen needs to play catch up with other games that have come up with something else.
Well,
they should be happy. We should be happy with what it is, because
they're trying that with survival mechanics too. I mean, trying to like add another sort of layer. I'm like, we really don't care about that layer. Although I do care about the base building. I think base building is really important. I think having a place like that you can call home and you can like fly from your hangar, maybe at an asteroid, and just land next to your house on a planet.
I mean, it'll give explorers something. So if they find something out there which nobody else has charted, or at least no NPC have charted previously, depending on how they deal with instancing and whatever if you could literally go, right, I've got enough money, I'm going to build an outpost here, which means I don't have to pay my hangar fees anymore because I've effectively built my own base. And then obviously you have to pay to upkeep and what have you on this outpost, but I expect that's what it's going to be working. But I don't think it's going to be like Star Wars Galaxies, where you can literally build stuff anywhere where there's space, because
I really think it might do, actually, in terms of like there'll be like, obviously you can't build inside a city, but like in terms of like most places, as long as they're not POIs, places of interest that are significant, I think you'll be able to build pretty much anywhere. I think that's my guess. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what it looks like. It looks like a lot of the bases are placed at random locations. They're not like within a cluster, and I think as long as they're not interfering with the game, like of how it's played and quest wise, they may do like sort of sectioned areas, like massive, but lots of them, like huge,
like housing zones type thing.
Yeah, but like the sizes of real planets,
Yeah. The only thing that makes me wonder whether they'll actually go ahead and allow players to have completely carte blanche on where they put things is how anal they are in what they've designed so far. If they want everything to be, look good and fit and all the rest of it, if you let players dump things wherever, it may just look a bit mental, like some sort of ghetto or something.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm up for it, but I just don't think they're going to go and let people do what like they did before, within reason.
I think they will, because Chris is always talking about sort of us creating the content for the game. So I mean, if we can like place them within reason, you can't like put them next to like on ArcCorp and go into ArcCorp and place a house down on ArcCorp, because there's no room.
There's no room, yeah.
but like on some Microtech, you could totally have. I reckon they'll totally have like just these random shacks out of nowhere that belong to people. You just wander upon it, I don't know how they're gonna deal with security there, whether you can like break in and steal shit, but
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you've probably played, DayZ in places like that, right? So you
Nope.
played those games?
no.
Well, I mean, I've had a bash at them, and you literally just wander about, and you'll find a wooden shack in the middle of nowhere, right? So it's made out of wood, and you've got a big axe in your inventory, and you can't actually break your way in because you haven't got the code for the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they've already said that slicing is going to be in it, or their equivalent thereof. So I can't imagine why they wouldn't allow you to go in there and steal stuff, and then you'll have insurance for your contents in your house. So they'll expand it, I expect, from your ship insurance to your abode insurance or house insurance, whatever the hell you want to call it.
I wonder if they'll have some sort of system where, like, say your house is being hacked, whether they'll allow you to whether they'll make you walk all the way back to your house, like say you're on the other side of the galaxy, whether they'll give you a quick way to get back to your house, or whether you'll have to actually fly like 6 jump points and like your house is gone, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I hope it doesn't do the whole bloody Star Wars: The Old Republic thing where everything's a loading screen, so you don't actually get an idea of how vast the galaxy is. Maybe you can build auto turrets, or you can, Agent Smith into some sort of like paid guard or something and actually try and fight them off or whatever. But I can't imagine they'll let you just teleport back, because that'll just destroy immersion. And for a lot of people, that'd be quite disappointing, because there are no teleporters in Star Citizen. You know what I mean?
Not yet. Anyway, there's only big space gates that allow wormholes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of mechanics to figure out, and I don't think they figured them out. To be honest, I think they're definitely a little they're behind in sort of. They have an idea of where they want to go with things, but they haven't quite figured out the mechanics, like ship mechanics, with like when you log off. And we talked about that about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And when you log off, and what happens to your character then if you have people on board, and that kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of those kind of ship mechanics that I don't think they've quite gotten sort of an idea where they want to go with it, which is,
Yeah, it's almost as if with the bases, they thought, right, we've had a bit of a caning recently for live stream performances and things like that. Let's throw something out there which nobody had thought about. These guys have been thinking about these bases for a while. Let's knock up some videos and throw it out there as something we're going to be doing. It's almost as if they haven't really completely thought about how having bases on wherever, how they're actually going to do it.
I don't think they have, to be honest. I think they just said, "Oh, that looks kind of cool. Let's just put that down."
Yeah, you can do it in the creator tools. Just go, plop, plop, plop. There's me stuff. But how do players actually do that? That's the thing.
How do they interact with it? How emerging gameplay is, how do they create their own content using these things? And do you have like turret systems inside the building? Sort of like if someone breaks in, is like big turrets pop out of the walls and just start laying down fire. Do you have AI robots guarding it, or what?
I can't let you do that, Dave. You don't have the key.
Dave. Does he have a name tag on the pirate?
Yeah. It was a 2001 reference, man. Come on. But yeah, maybe it does. Maybe you can see. It knows who it is. It hacks into the local police and goes,
pirates.
That bloke's called Dave, and his mate Steve.
Maybe all pirates should, that's like required to have name tags.
Yeah, if you're a pirate, you must show your name, so we can all ridicule you once we shot you in the head.
Oh dear, that was funny.
Dave. Yeah. So what else have we seen in the last couple of weeks?
There was the whole music ATV, which was pretty much of a bust. I thought that was just complete. No offense to the music guys, but it was a complete waste of time for an ATV. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think different.
I mean, at the end of the day, sound and music make a game, or at least make an experience. I mean, if you watch Star Wars and you didn't have John Williams doing the score,
but
a completely different film.
Everyone's itching for like the 3.0 procedural planets information, and then they come up with, let's give them some music.
Obviously, I tell you, not really impressed with that one. But yeah, it was bad timing. What it was.
it's just-
But ultimately, what could they do? I mean,
it worries me, though.
they continually to do the Lawmaker's Guide to the
That's really good.
Galaxy.
It's a really good series. I like that series a
Yeah,
lot.
they're still really good.
Yeah, they are.
You know, I enjoy watching those, no matter who's presenting them. But some of the other stuff is just. I'm not the biggest fan of what is it? Is it the Citizen Spotlight, or was that? Oh no, what's the other thing that's
Happy
come
Hour?
on? Yeah, I mean that can be interesting, but I don't know.
It really.
I'd have to know where the interesting bits is. I don't really want to sit there and watch people play games, play what we are already playing, whilst eventually telling us something which is useful halfway through. I mean, in all respect to all the streamers and all the other people they've had on there playing games and talking about it and guesting on it, we want to know what they're doing, not what the community's doing, because we already know what the community's doing, because hello, we're doing it, we're in the community, and there's also an awful lot of community spotlight bits on the website where people can say what's going on. I just don't think it's really needed.
Well,
And don't even get me started on quantum questions.
yeah.
Stole our bloody name.
Dude,
You're welcome, CIG.
holy bottle just went all crazy on your face there. But
Oh yeah. This will
but
be the
yeah.
last time I do this stupid background replacement. It's not working very well.
So if anyone doesn't know, CIG have it's a segment. It was another bit like ATV, right? Wasn't it?
I think it's part of.
It's not part of Happy Hour, I don't think.
No, it's part of Citizens of the Stars. I think it is. They've only had 2 of them so far.
It's a new podcast basically, and it's called Quantum Questions. Like, take our name much? Come on.
It's entertaining. At the end of the day, you know,
No,
we're
it's
not
good.
pressured.
No, it maybe
And the questions are good, and they do try and answer as many as they can. In fact, the last time, I think the last person wasn't, and I do apologize, I've forgotten who it was who actually did it, which staff it was. But he was like, "Is that it? Is that the 2 minutes?" No, he was been up there for another 10 minutes at least. He was enjoying it.
Yeah. Was it? No, it wasn't Ben, was it?
No, that was the first one.
No, I haven't seen the second one. I don't think.
He said he was going to try and do 42 questions, but didn't quite make it.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say something and I completely forgotten. I did that guy who did the Carrick Bridge. That was pretty impressive work, right?
Yeah, man, that was really awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see what the Carrick's going to be like when it's done. You know, I have one, and you're going to be needed on the bridge at some point when we actually finally get to fly the damn thing. But it's going to look awesome, and the work that guy put in, that's amazing.
It is. It only took him 14 hours, which is pretty impressive, actually. They should totally hire him.
Yeah, I mean, if only for the grey boxing of some things. I mean, that was accurate.
Yeah.
No, he's taken the concept art and recreated it in 3D really well. I mean, it may have completely changed now. We haven't seen any artwork for the Carrack since they actually released it, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an interesting ship when it comes out. And obviously, they are also speaking about ships. They're refactoring the Aurora as well.
Yeah. I saw that. It actually looks pretty sprightly, so like sleek now. It's kind of a lot. It doesn't quite look as pudgy as before, which is good. I think it needed some. I think, to be honest, the Super Hornet, the refactor of this Hornets, of like the cleanup that they did, like the last patch and this patch, I don't think it improved it all that much. I mean, I don't go, wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing refactor, but
yeah.
But I think
they just made it look prettier. They changed the textures, didn't
right.
they? I mean, I like the way that the redone Ghost looks, but then that's probably because it's black.
Right. I mean, I think that's the coloring more than anything else, and that vent system on the top, which also looks pretty cool. I mean, I think the Ghost just looks awesome in general, but I mean, I think they could do with the Mark II. I really do. I think that will be a huge deal.
I reckon we'll see him coming up for sale before the end of the year, maybe at the anniversary sale or something this year. I mean, we're already middle of February. Yeah, it's ramping along this year already.
I know, and we still haven't heard even just anything about 3.0, really. I mean,
no, well, they did say they were thinking about putting a 2.6.2 patch in between what we're doing,
I mean,
and 3.0, maybe even another one. But
maybe even 3.2.63. I mean, that's just, to be honest, I think I don't think we'll see 3.0 till June, July at the earliest.
Yeah, I said Easter, didn't I? It's looking less likely that I'm right.
Yeah.
We'll find out. I mean, I'd like to see the first couple of missions of Squadron out before the summer.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Probably not. But that is really how.
This is CIG you're talking about. This is the perfectionists. They like to do everything to the nth degree, which is good in some time. But I think they just. It's taking a long time to get this Squadron thing. I think you'll see it towards Christmas. I think you'll see the thing. I think that's where.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident it's going to blow everybody away when it's finally out.
Oh yeah,
the quality of the people involved, and the fact that Chris Roberts has done this multiple times before. I mean, I enjoyed the FMV Wing Commander games. They were great. The story really dragged you on to carry through, and I'm sure this will be exactly the same. So. Yeah, I think it'll be good, but we've been waiting a long time for this, and I understand they've had the engine to change, they've got the issue with AI to deal with, and the is it subsumption, was it, where so that the barman can actually look realistic when they're wiping their glasses and things like that. Mm-hmm. But realistically, as long as the people can walk around and follow some scripted paths, it's a single-player game. We're not all expecting PU type artificial intelligence in the people who are standing around, because we're just going to be listening to the story and wandering around the ship. As long as they're not doing anything stupid like sticking their head through the wall when they're trying to fix a panel or something, we'll be happy. We talked
about this last time, where like they saying the only thing really stopping this the subsumption is the animations not syncing up with what the person's supposed to be doing. And I mean, like, I don't care. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people don't really care that much. That the animations aren't syncing up with what the AI were doing. Maybe in the story, in the Squadron, it's more important than it is in the PU, that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. But just because sort of like everyone expects the PU to be a little buggy, I guess you would say.
Yeah, the PU, fair enough. Obviously, Squadron 42 is their shop window, isn't it? It's it's what all the press is going to review. It's what all the press are going to actually praise them or kick them in the arse about if it doesn't work. And I can understand why that they are a little bit anxious about putting it out there so people can actually see what they've been doing. Because rabid fans like us, we're interested in all of the facets. So the in fiction digital game, so that's Star Marine Arena Commander. We're interested in the PU, and we're interested in the single player game. But there's an awful lot of people who've been sat on the fence, and the first episode of Squadron is going to be what makes them decide to back or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is key. And that's why I don't think Juno be a realistic target. I mean, they want to have procedural planets in the game, and they want to, we have a reasonably bug-free game when they release it. And these things are not easy to do. And they say they've grey boxed all the missions in terms of like they know where they're going. You know what I mean? They've like got them laid down and they know where they're going with them. But I think implementing it takes a while, and they're also doing I know they have like a lot of people working on this, but to me it just seemed, when they started saying, oh, we're going to add procedural planets as missions, I think that's when I was like, well, that's going to be another year basically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think what they've done all the principal shooting for all of the actors. So Hamill's done, Gillian Anderson done, Mark Strong's done, Andy Serkis is done, and all of that is effectively CG mocap grey box. Really, right. And now they've got to bring it up to the standard where it actually looks like a motion picture, because that's what Chris wants. He wants this to be his magnum opus. He wants it to be the best thing he's ever done, and the thing that everyone will remember him for. And it's looking like it'll get there, but there's an awful lot of people who are less patient than we are. And we spend enough time bitching about it on here, so we're not the most patient people on the planet either. So you can imagine what the average Joe on the street is thinking, especially if they've only pledged $30 for an arena, for a Squadron 42 package or something.
Yeah, I told my brother that I spent X amount of money on Star Citizen. He's like, "You nuts?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm totally crazy." But I didn't even mention you, mate.
No, don't. No, he'll send me begging letters or something, and I'll have to respond and say I don't have any money left. I spent it all on Squadron. How's he getting? Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk about that. I'll have a word with you off camera about your brother, because his mini adventure is quite interesting.
It is. He's living in Malta now, so.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool architecture over there.
Yeah, I mean it's nice climate too. So sort of similar to California.
Yeah, anything's better than here, mate. You escaped deer well enough, didn't you?
It was a bit cold and wet there.
Yep. Rubbish.
So what else? I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we got anything else.
I'm just looking through the notes. We've mentioned regional servers and that they have helped for those who didn't already have regional servers. So, for example, you were using the same servers anyway.
Are you getting sub 100 ping on now, or are you still getting?
Yeah, about 56. I was averaging at.
I'm still getting 100 because I'm going to Virginia. I'm assuming they haven't got a West Coast pipeline yet, or I think it's just.
Well, they'll get there, won't they?
Hopefully.
The poor DevOps guys are all, overworked with the 3 regions they're running right now, which is just copy and paste in
It shouldn't
EC2.
be that difficult. I mean, it should be relatively simple.
Probably a lot more complicated than that before I get death threats, right? So, but yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, it has improved. The PU hasn't. I wouldn't be surprised if the PU servers are still one central server based in the States, because I really haven't seen much of an improvement.
I haven't seen any improvement, really. I mean.
But you wouldn't, would you?
No, but I'm like, in terms of like the message ordering and the serialized variables, I really didn't see a sort of like massive jump in the frame rate.
No, it's probably all behind the scenes stuff that we wouldn't see anyway, which is improving the communication between client and back end and other clients that need to have the updates. That's probably what's improved, but we don't really see that. I've seen the improvement because of the regional servers, but then I don't know whether all the improvements is because it's a regional server. I'm not having
most
to go.
Of it is right now. I don't think we'll see any major network improvements now until 3.0, which is another at least 4 to 5 months away. So, I mean, that's.
Well, in the meantime, there's plenty of other games to play.
By the time that comes along, there's going to be a lot of like anxious, annoyed people by June. If by 3.0 is not even close by June, there's going to be a lot of people going, "God damn it, where's my 3.0?"
Yeah, we wouldn't have to look very far to get guest people on to have a complaint, would we? We'll just have to disclaim and say, look, this isn't a bitching podcast. We try and actually put everything across in a balanced light, which I think is the best way of doing it. There's an awful lot of other people out there who kind of have incredibly rose-tinted glasses on. We got to be realistic, man. That's why we're different.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing a little podcast of my own on XCOM 2 Long War 2, which is we're just playing through it as I basically started. Season 1 was my my fresh start, and I had no clue about what the changes were other than a couple of things, and I just I hit a roadblock, made quite a few mistakes, so I ended up dying by about like the 15th episode, which is on a Long War game. It's usually about 100 missions for finish. So I'm like, now I'm on like 27, I think it is. So I'm making some progress, but it's starting to get a bit difficult again, and I'm starting to look like I might end up dying. But we'll see. I made some mistakes, man. What are you gonna do?
You have to learn from them, and that's the important thing.
Yeah.
At least I'm something a bit different this time, rather than it was the first time. I was rubbish. You kept bitching about how slow I was. It's like real life again.
No, you're Ranger.
Move your ass.
You're Ranger now, so the Ranger is pretty. You're playing pretty well now. In the last few episodes, you've been really coming into your own and sort of destroying various like aliens without even, thinking about it. It's been nice. It's been nice to have you kicking some butt. I also got another one of my subscribers. I put in. He wanted me to put him in, and I put him in, and he's a Shinobi. So we have 2 subscribers now.
Oh, I bet you were glad about that. You love your Shinobis, don't you?
I do love them. They're really great, and it's just a great class. I mean, the 3 best classes, I think, I think the gunner is really good. The shinobi's really good. The ranger is really good. I mean, you basically can't go on a mission without those guys and do well, I don't think. The assault's pretty good too, but so there's like the 4 classes that are sort of key to a good success, and the grenadier, but that's just because he destroys cover. But anyway, so did you check out the game now that I was playing it, or?
Yeah, I did. When I first tried to download it, I was working away in the hotel, and then I realized it was a 1.7 gig download for a friggin' mod. I was like, okay, that's gonna have to wait till I get home.
It's a bit of an
because I've got like piddly bandwidth. So yeah, I've got it on my machine out of bash. I created a soldier for you, return the favor.
Yeah.
You're full on space helmed up and stuff. It's really funny. You stick out like a sore thumb compared to everybody else. So at least I know which one's you.
Right.
But it's good. It's flashbangs make it a lot easier, because what I didn't realize that Long War was something you had to subscribe to in Greenlight or whatever it is.
Workshop.
That's it, Workshop. Because Greenlight's dead now. They called it something else, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I started a game on like legendary fucking Iron Man, and I started the very first Gatecrasher mission with like 4 blokes, and I got absolutely creamed because, of course, you don't start with like a battalion like you do in Long War 2, and you don't have flashbangs. You just got murdered.
You're in vanilla, right? You're talking about, right?
I was, yeah. And then when I worked out what I had to do, after like you dick. And I actually got it running, and yeah, it's good. I've only played the first couple of missions. Luckily, I learned from your mistakes, so I actually know a little bit what I got to do. But I actually work for a living, so I don't have time to actually make the videos you do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do something sometime. Oh, talking about videos, have you actually played Papers yet?
No. No.
I tell you what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to record a video on Papers, and I'm going to upload it. So
you should totally do that. I would totally watch it. I really would like to see that game, because I'm not really committed to spending my time.
You just want to watch me wasting my time instead.
Yeah, that would be much more interesting. That would be totally more interesting. You've got to do that.
All right. I won't do it live. I'll record it and stick it on my Obsessed Site YouTube channel.
Yeah. Record it and stick it up later on the Obsessed Site YouTube channel. And you can just send me a link to your channel, and I'll subscribe, and then I can check it out.
I'm not sure. I don't know whether it makes good watching, because it is literally just I need to compare these.
But just do even if you.
I might only do the one.
If I only do one, and if it gets and I enjoy it, I'll say, yeah, that's really fun, and then you can do more then at that point.
All right, cool. Yeah, all right, then it's a deal. I'll do that. I'll record.
Totally,
I'll record about an hour of it, and then you can see what's going on when I get
that
time
sounds
to
good
do.
to me. I definitely like. Well, I watch a lot of people's like YouTube videos of games before I play them, just because I'd like to see what a game's going to be about before I buy it. But
yeah, good way. Have you played Rainbow Six Siege?
No, basically because there's no single player. I like single player FPS just as much as I like multiplayer FPS.
Yeah. It's only you get like the single player. I forgot what they're called now, because they've updated it recently. You get to do the missions basically. There's only like 11 of them, and you get like gold stars, which give you points that you can use to unlock operators if you're not a season pass subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't. It's not repeatable. I mean, you can repeat it, but it gets a bit boring after a while. It's all right. To be fair,
there's a Rainbow Six Vegas, I think it was, before that, and I really loved that game. I loved playing the single player. I loved playing the multiplayer.
That was the third person one, wasn't it?
Yeah, sort of semi third person. I think it's been a while. It's been like years. It's been like 10 years, I think, or something close to that.
Yeah. I played it. It was quite good fun. Yeah, but anyway, we could talk all day, but obviously we are actually recording this and people are watching it live.
Well, they can watch us talk. Then.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Have you
seen
I think Ghost Recon's out soon.
Yeah, Wildlands. I got access to the beta, and whilst I obviously can't say anything because I was in the beta, the closed beta side of it.
You could say if it's good or not, right?
It was good. The annoying bits I had was because there were certain aspects of the map which were actually you couldn't block it. You walked across a bridge and it was like, oh, you're gonna die. and you had to walk back again because it's obviously out of bounds. They wanted to keep you within a certain number of kilometers.
That's not what it's going to be like at the end.
No. It's all open world.
Okay, so it's not like you walk through like this invisible wall and you're like, you are exiting the instance, and then
no, they just did it so that it kept people in the same area, so which is fine. But yeah,
is it out this month or next? I think it's out this month, right?
Yeah, soon. I think. I don't know if I'm going to get it because, literally I've got so many games I haven't finished yet.
I'm going to get it. I'm also looking.
I haven't even finished Primal yet.
I have Mass Effect next month.
Oh yeah, I'm so buying that.
I know, right? I really hope they sort of do like a Star Citizen-y type thing where you go explore planets and stuff like that, because that would be awesome.
I just love the fact they brought the Mako back, although they've called it something else. The little rover.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I think it'd be great.
Have you seen the collector's edition?
No.
I haven't bought it, but it does look awesome. It's like you get a model of the rover. Yeah, got kids now, can't do that anymore.
Where they'll steal it and just drive it around.
No, I don't literally can't afford it anymore.
Oh.
That's just the way it goes. You have to keep the kids in clothes and
I bought
food.
Like a collector's edition of something, and then the kids stole the model thing and ran off with it, and they haven't seen it again.
Oh,
yeah.
Somebody's a magpie.
Yeah.
I bought the Constellation model from the store when it was on sale, and I had a voucher for like 1 year of Centurion or something, the subscriber voucher, 10% off. So I bought that, and it's in a glass cabinet. The kids don't go anywhere near that. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, seriously, it's just the amount of stuff I've spent on I haven't spent that much because the wife might be listening. But I haven't spent that much on bits and pieces. It's just like I've got a Big Benny's t-shirt, right? And I've got
well, that's clothing. We all need clothing.
Yeah, I got a Squadron 42 t-shirt, and I've recently bought myself the Squadron hoodie, the zip-up one.
Yeah.
And I would buy, and I will buy a Squadron hat when they actually have them in the store. But they haven't yet. So when they do, I'll buy one. But yeah, this game's going to be awesome. It's literally just a waiting game. You know what I mean?
It is. They really need to. I think this year is important though. They're doing way too many concept ships and ship sales and.
Don't get me started on that. They just need to stop selling shit and actually just get the bloody game done. I mean, if they've got problems with money, then why don't they do something different, like sell more merchandise? Yes, it costs the money to make it, but people will buy it, like hats, for example.
I'll buy one.
Yeah. Or release the limited ships again and allow people to upgrade to them, because otherwise it's just going to be an infinite. The generation game, you know what I mean? You have stuff going on the bloody on the carousel all the time. Going, oh, that's new. Where did that come from? Oh, we just thought it'd be cool to make one. Okay, like the Misk Razor, that wasn't anything that was in the leak that we saw. This just came out of nowhere, at least as far as we know.
I don't know. They need to slow down on the ships. I think they need to just, I don't know, put the ship, maybe just focus on fixing the ships they have as opposed to like making more ships. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a douche or something. I don't know. But
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, they got a shed load of people working on this, so perhaps by releasing concept ships, because they don't necessarily use the designers who they do the grey boxing and the finalizing of the ships, it's not such a bad thing. But ultimately, there's already an absolute bucket load more ships in this game than there are in any other game that I could talk about, but I'm not going to. And yet they continue to come up with new ones. I mean, you've got ships that haven't been finished yet, so they're obviously working on the refactored Cutlass Black, which looks awesome. And I did upgrade my Herald to a Cutlass Black because I've got a Terrapin. I figured a Herald and a Terrapin kind of do the same thing, so I figured I'd upgrade the Herald to a Cutlass Black because the new one looks awesome, right? Mm-hmm. But then you've got all the other variants. So then you've got the we know that the Aquila is coming out in 3.0, and then the Phoenix. Again, the Phoenix is supposed to be one of Chris Roberts' favorite ships, but hasn't had any love since they bought that monstrosity out in the hangar. Although that probably more like 2 years ago now. That's coming in 3.1, I think. Yeah. Without looking at the schedule, I'm not sure.
I think it is.
There's loads of ships they need to finish before they start bringing out new ones. unless it's an asset that needs to be in Squadron 42, which they haven't created yet, I can't see any reason why they can actually say, oh, we need to bring out a new one. Well, like the Hoplite, for example, that came out of nowhere because the Redeemer wasn't ready. It needs to be rebuilt because it doesn't fit the new models. It's a little too small. So they needed the dropship, so they thought, well, the Vanguard's big enough, let's just do that. But what else are they going to do? They're going to bring a troop transport version of the Constellation because they needed something bigger?
Yeah, I just only think they need to just maybe they have enough people that it doesn't affect the rest of their like base building system or their survival systems. You know what I mean? Like the other areas where they would be needing concept and modelers and you know. So
yeah, there's enough people there. I don't
right,
think
but I think they could spend their time making concept weapons or like for the FPS. They don't always have to be doing ships, surely. I mean, surely they can reduce the number of people doing ships and then have those guys do other things modeling that are needed, like you know, like objects in the world, or you know, like cargo pods, or you know, like there's many other things they could be concepting.
Yeah, I think with the Star Marine assets, I think they're literally just going to go a surprise. You know, when they actually release it, I had invisible hands there. That's awesome. When they actually do finally get it up and running, I think they're just going to bring out loads of stuff all at once. There'll be like another section of the electronic access store for guns and for grenades and for you know, the shields and all that sort of stuff, because there's loads of stuff they've apparently been working on, but we don't see any evidence in the Star Marine we've got hold of. I think they're just keeping a load of these assets back, and then they'll bring them all out late in one big go. So it could be that 3.0 is just fucking huge. It's not only planetary landings and all that stuff, it's a load of other bits, so it makes it a lot bigger in one go. Because was it 3.0 that's going to have like cargo missions in it? I can't remember now.
Yeah. Cargo missions.
You know, there's a load that they could bring into it, but
you know what I'm saying, like
it seems like there's no progress. That's the problem, or at least not enough in the areas that we personally think are important.
Anyway, I guess I gotta wrap this up because I gotta go pick up my kids. So
oh shit, what time is it, dude?
It's 2:42 here. So
oh right, okay, yeah, time to go get the kids. That's important, man. You don't want to leave them waiting.
No, you don't. So I guess we're going to call this a day. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. I don't think we're going to get to 100 in the near future. Probably later this year.
You never know.
Later this year, probably, I would imagine.
Yeah, by Christmas, I think that should be a goal. I mean, you know, 100 isn't much. All it takes is a little bit more advertising on Spectrum, perhaps. I mean, we're not really pimping this podcast much. Let's be fair.
Yet. No, but I'm enjoying doing the other things as well. So the XCOM things, and I think that's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Papers, Please. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. So
yeah, I'll do it. I think what we'll say is, unless something new comes out, Quantum Feedback will be bi-weekly for the foreseeable.
Yeah, until something happens. Unless there's if there's a major development, I definitely think we could do next week. Next weekend. I think major developments like massive information about 3.0 in ATV or something like that. I think if there's real news that's significant and in depth, I definitely think we could do a weekly show. But with as it stands right now, there's just not enough info for a weekly show.
No, I mean, if we wanted to break it down to 30 minutes for a weekly show, we could probably fill it up with random stuff. But we've decided to go with a slightly longer
hour-long
playtime.
Thing. Yeah, that's kind of our goal. But anyway, yes, thanks for watching. Would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, well, thanks for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any comments or any other topics you want us to talk about, then leave the comments. Like, subscribe if you like it. If none of those two options are good enough, then stick them in the comments and we'll take them on board. Thanks for your time.
Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
See ya.
We're off.
Tidy. Right then, I don't want to keep you any longer then, mate, if you got to go and get the little ones.
Mm-hmm.